Hey class, I'm happy to say this is our first day of probably a different type of learning. So let me help out by doing number 4, number 5, and number 13 on the worksheet that I posted today for you. So let's look at number 4 and figure out what we need to find. If you look at the beginning of the worksheet, 1 to 3, they break up the pieces. So 4 to number 12. So 4 to 12, we're going to do it ourselves. So first off, let me look at here. I got PQR triangle, the angle 37. This side, PQPR, is 22. And we have Q, the angle is being 90. And angle R is being 37. So what we're missing, and maybe this is what you want to start off with, is labeling what is missing. I'm missing angle P right now. And I know some of you guys thinking, Mr. Tobel, angle P is pretty simple. But let's just label what we're missing. We're missing PQ. It's kind of weird to write like this because I'm looking at the video as I write, and there's like a delay to it, like a little bit of a lag. And then I have QR. That's the other one I'm missing. So since I'm missing those three, so let me try to find those three. Angle P seems to be very easy in this one. So angle P is going to be simply take this 37 degrees and bring it over minus 180. So this is for angle P. That's going to equal 180 degrees minus the 90 degrees minus the 37 degrees. Now I want to point something out that everyone knows, a lot of people notice. Since this is always 90 in our questions, and this is always 180, you could just simply start like this, 90 degrees minus 37 degrees. Doing that will allow you to reduce it pretty nicely. And then 90 minus 37, you just do that in your head or take out a calculator, that's fine. That's going to be 53. Let me just think in my head before I make a mistake. Because this is a video, no one can correct me. 53 plus together, that'll be a 40. 40 plus 50 is now 90. Yeah, so 53 is my angle here. So angle P is 53. And it's okay if I write it up here. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. We're looking for PQ, this left one. Why did I pick PQ? There's no real reason. I just said PQ because I wrote PQ here first. I like using the angle as given, so I'm going to box that. I know I box it just so it's important to me. And I have this is the opposite side of 37. And this is a adjacent side. So this would be the hypotenuse, what's left over. So I got to use my trusty trick. SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. So has both opposite and hypotenuse, O and H. So since I'm looking for PQ, I'm going to use sine. So sine, let me actually do the work here. So the sine, so this is for PQ. So sine of 37 degrees equals, hopefully this camera doesn't fall over, equals, we got, let's see, opposite. I don't know what opposite is, so I'm just going to write it as PQ over hypotenuse, which is 22. I had space there. So PQ over 22. Okay, now I want PQ to be by itself, so I'm going to multiply 22 on both sides, multiply 22 to both sides. So I have 22 times sine 37 equals PQ. From that example, I could type into my calculator 22 times sine, and I got 13.239, so I'm just going to round that to 1 decimal point. So I'm going to do 13.2. So PQ is 13.2. Let's go to the next one, which is QR, final one. That was adjacent. Let's use what's given as hypotenuse. So adjacent, hypotenuse, and adjacent and hypotenuse. So together, we're going to get adjacent hypotenuse, so so cosine is going to be adjacent hypotenuse. So this one is cosine of 37 degrees equals adjacent, I don't know what it is, so I'm going to call it QR, over hypotenuse, which is 22. Important note, if you want to call QR X, and then you want to call PQ Y and use variables, that's fine also. So times 22 times 22, I'm pretty sure in class I've done both. I times 22 just to get QR by itself, so I got 22 times cosine 97 equals QR, 22 times cosine 37, so the answer should be 17.56, so let's change that to 17.6. So your answer for QR is 17.6. All right, this is number 5. So we have this one's slightly different. Notice we have two angles missing on the side. So let's find the two angles. I think in class I said find the side first and then the angles. Maybe if you want to, it's a recommendation, but let's try to find angles first. So I'm going to aim for angle P. Angle P is what I'm looking for, okay? So if angle P is what I'm looking for, I need to use what's given. So I have a opposite and an adjacent. So having an opposite and adjacent allows me to use one of my three trig functions. So toa, so that's tan. So to find angle P, I'm going to use tan. I don't know what P is, so I'm going to put P equals the opposite side, which is 18, over the adjacent side is 11. Now I have to do something to get rid of the tan from P. So what I'm going to do is put this in big parentheses and put tan -1, or tan inverse. Whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other. So now this allows me to cross off both tans. So now I'm left with P, which is good, that's my goal. Tan -1, or inverse tan, 18 over 11. So that's 18 over 11. I'm sorry this marker is not that fine. It's more like a big whiteboard marker than a straight marker. So P times tan -1, 18 over 11. So I'm going to type that in the calculator. And the answer is 58.57. So let's go 1 decimal point. So P equals 58.6 degrees. So 58.6 degrees. So now I know angle P is 58.6 degrees. So this is 58.6. Now N, this whole triangle adds up to 180. So if I know this is 90, I can know these two angles have to add up to 90. So for N, angle N is going to equal, and I'm going to use the shortcut I kind of mentioned last question, which is 90 minus 58.6. So 90 minus 58.6 is 31.4. So angle N should equal 31.4. So this should be 31.4 degrees. And I could write that here if I want to. This example is not only to show you how to, solve it, but also how to show your work. Okay, last one is Pn. So Pn is what we're missing. Now, there's two ways to do it. I could use a trig function, or I could use a Pythagorean theorem, because I have 11 and 18. I could do 11 squared plus 18 squared equals some square root. I'm going to use a trig function just to practice. Since I found P first, I'll just stick to that. So that's 58.6. So 58.6, 11 looks like a small number, so I'm happier with that. So that's adjacent 11 over Pn seems to be the hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse, that's cosine. So cosine of, and I actually know the angle, so 58.6 equals, this one is 11 over, I don't know what the hypotenuse is, so I'm going to use Pn. Now, I have a big issue. Pn here is on the bottom of the denominator. So I have to change it by making it on the top of the denominator by multiplying on both sides. That allows me to cross off the Pn, and instead of rewriting everything, I'm just going to erase it here and just make this 11. But now I have a Pn times cosine of 58.6, and that doesn't make me happy because I want Pn completely by itself. So I'm going to divide on both sides cosine and make sure it's not just 58.6, or was it 58.6? Make sure you're dividing cosine 58.6. All right, cross that out. So now I'm left with Pn equals 11 over cosine 56. So we just typed that into our 58.6, I apologize. So we typed it in the calculator. And our answer, after I typed it in, is 21.1. So I put 21.1 here. I'll put 21.1 here. Doesn't matter where I put it. My answers are right here. Now let's check with the worksheet. And it works with the worksheet. Okay, number 13 is definitely easier than it looks. You have sine of angle A equaling 0.36. So sine of A, they're connected, so I need to disconnect A and sine. And the only way I can rip a sine off a variable like that is by doing sine -1, or inverse sine. If I do it to one side, I got to do it to the other. And I'm going to cross those signs out. So now I'm left with A equals sine -1, 0.36. All right, now I'm just going to find the answer by typing in the calculator. And interesting enough, I think this is an answer in question B, or question, I think number 3, 4, or 5, but it is 21.1 degrees. Or if I remember correctly, is the side of one of the triangles we just did. So those 3 examples hopefully lead you. If you need any more help, you can email me, text me on Remind, or something along those lines, or comment on the Google post. If anything, good luck, guys, and enjoy and be safe, please. And make sure to wash your hands and don't touch your face. Have a wonderful day.